Hey guys, it's Calorie. I am just wanting to give a little pep talk to some of my friends who are working with ED and who are just, even if you don't consider yourself an ED person or a person with ED of any kind, I mean, you can still totally relate to the whole calorie restriction, ideal society. Everybody pretty much promotes calorie restriction in some way, shape, or form. So it's really, really odd when people come out and say, you can eat as much as you want. So, and there's a lot behind that. You can't, it's really more difficult than you might think just to say, okay, I learned something new. I believe it. I understand it. I know that it's true with all of my mind, but still something in me wants to calorie restrict. So if you're like me, that's what happens to you. So, and I see that a lot, that's why I'm making these videos because, I spend time on Instagram, a lot of time lately. I've just been loving it. It's all right, Rock. We'll leave soon. We're about to go out for the weekend, obviously, rare form here. But so basically, you got to work with your body. Your body can't hear you, it can't hear you that you want to be thin. It doesn't understand that. You need to speak its language. That's a monkey. So you need to speak your body's language. And, exercising and eating, well, they can affect, us in different ways. Exercising can actually, make your appetite go up, which, some people think is a problem, but it's really not, because the fact that your appetite is going up is actually a sign that your metabolism is good. If you are lacking sugar or water, your metabolism is going to go down. So the first thing you want to do, and don't worry about all this short-term bloating. People these days, literally, you drink a little bit of water, you eat like a big meal, and they're like, oh my God, I'm fat. Like, it's not actual fat. It's just food in your stomach. You know what I mean? Like, you can go burn it off. Even skinny people get that. So, like I said, you need to speak your body's language. And if you're starving your body, that is not telling your body to release fat. It is doing the opposite. I swear, I think it's a conspiracy, people out here. I mean, you look at all these little memes on Instagram and wherever else, they're like pretty well made. I mean, who is making this shit and saying starve, starve, starve? And then there's even the little pyramid I saw. This pisses me off. There's a pyramid, this anorexia pyramid. It's like cigarettes, Diet Coke, gum. Like, really? It sounds like an actual marketing scheme. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't put it past them at all. So, just forget about all that. Forget about it. You need to help your metabolism. And I don't know if I've talked about this in my last video or not. I've been meaning to talk about this, but I don't think I have. I knew, and, if anybody's watching me from Blue Springs, from my, beginning of high school days or whatever, you might know who I'm talking about, but there's certain people that I had met across the way, who were addicted to crystal meth and or crack or, for the most part, it was crystal. And you're wondering, like, okay, how is this person who's a total meth head, I mean, total gone, not, I mean, rest in peace, you know what I mean? How are they fat or obese? How does that work? You don't think. You think about tweakers, you think about rail thin, people. But that's not always the case, That may be how it's advertised or whatever. Ding, 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 ding. But, yeah, you can have fat tweakers because if you don't eat, what are you going to do? You're going to mess up your metabolism. The next time you eat is fasting. I mean, that's what happens. The next time you eat, you're going to be bloated. Your body's going to be like, food, hold on to it. We may never see food again. You know what I mean? So, speak your body's language. Exercising, when you exercise and you're not under a lot of stress, it actually tells your body, yeah, maybe we can afford this. energy is like playing. That's why playing is so good for you, because you're actually using your body, you're moving, but you're not necessarily needing to. It's not work. I mean, when they do studies on like pregnant women, it's great for you to exercise when you're pregnant, but the same exertion but at work is not good for you. Very detrimental. So I don't know, rambling a little bit, but you have to eat. You have to eat and you have to exercise. It's funny, the people who are trying to be anorexic that I see a lot of times, they're posting all these pictures of these girls that are obviously working out. I mean, they're not just starving themselves. Yeah, they may be skinny, they may watch their portions, they may eat healthy, they may eat a raw diet. You never know. You better figure that out before you idolize their body. You know what I mean? You can't just say, oh, I'm going to starve myself, because first of all, it doesn't work. I mean, you can do it, you can die, you can get obsessed with it and whatever, or you can aim for a healthy lifestyle, which is more fun. What are you wanting your goal for anyways? You know, are you doing this? Are you trying to be the skinniest to get attention, to get a guy? Like, if you're dead, if you're in a hospital, yeah, you may get some attention, you know, on Facebook, but you're not going to be able to go out and enjoy yourself. You're not going to be able to have a good life and actually be a happy person, which is what's going to attract, you know, real good things in your life, real happiness. Isn't that what we all want? Like, if you have a rail thin body and you're not happy, what is the point? You know, if you're not even healthy enough to use your rail thin body, you know, then it's ridiculous. So, and like even in the morning, what I used to do is just, I was never really a breakfast person. If I had it, I would have it late. And even like now, like I wake up at like 6 something, and a lot of times I will try not to eat until like 9 or so, and even later if I'm really like feeling it, you know. But you gotta eat. You should wake up and eat within, I think, an hour or two. Wait an hour or two, then eat, but really no longer than that, because any longer than that is like your body. And anytime you're hungry, I should say, anytime you're actually hungry and you're denying your body food, that's going to be your body is going to start reacting to that. These signals, listen to them. You know what I mean? Your hunger is not a it's not a punishment or, you know, anything like that. It's not something bad. It's good. You know, you should say, oh, great, I'm hungry already. In fact, I did this a couple years ago. I finally realized that. It's like, kind of like, hell yeah, you know, I'm hungry again after like Thanksgiving dinner. I'm kind of proud of that. You know what I mean? Like, that's a good thing. That means your body is dealing with it, and you probably made the right food choices as well when you were eating. So when you're starving, it just kills your metabolism. You don't want to be setting yourself up for that, because that's just a bad cycle to get into. Yeah, it may work for a little while. You may feel skinnier. You may lose weight, just like with paleo. You may lose weight for a while. But is that how you want to live your life? No, it's not. Of course not. So, you know, stop being depressed about, you know, the body that you wish you had. I mean, if you look at these pictures, like old Victoria's Secret, yeah, I'm a sucker. So, you look at the Victoria's Secret, you'll notice there's one model that does the tank tops. You know, there's one model that does the jeans. Why is that? Because they have the perfect body for that fucking picture. Excuse my language. Specific for that picture. She's got the best arms out of all of the supermodels. This is the top 1% of arms in the entire world. You know what I mean? And we're trying to compare like our 5-foot frame to that, and like our 2 kids and all, you know, like, get over it. You know, you should be aiming, and the way, even, you know, it's just better than you've ever been, better than you could ever thought you were going to be. All over toned. You know, you don't just want to have, you know, an awesome, you know, 6-pack or something and then like have like flabby arms. Like, you want to, if you're aiming to have the best body that you can possibly have, you're going to want to have it all fit. And yeah, so you can really only do that if you actually are fit, if you actually are working out, if you do a variety of exercises, and not only that, but on a consistent basis. So these people who were like paleo dieting or starving and then going out and running and, oh, I'm going to, you know, get thin by next Tuesday, I've got prom or whatever. It's like, you know, no, it's, that's not going to help you. slow and steady wins the race. The slower you lose weight, the better. That's what they say. I believe it, you know, and do a post-it note challenge. You know, you, you can't sit there and say bad things to your body and say, I hate my body, I hate my body. I see that more than anything else. I hate my body, I hate my body. Look at that fat. Oh my God. Look at the good parts. Look at the part where you stuck your, I don't care if you have to stick your hip out. Like, oh, look, there's the hip bone. Or like, look at this muscle, you know, like, raw, you know. Feel good. Any way that you can feel good is going to bring more good to you by the law of attraction. If you have not heard, and I think, like, this is one of my main, like, focuses in life right now. For me, I feel like I need to bring the law of attraction message to the ED community. And if I can do that through Instagram and YouTube and whatnot, I am all about doing that. If you can help me, please spread the word. Like, this is my purpose right now. So there's a lot to it. I've done you know, positive thinking for a really long time. I was, you know, a decade ago, I was in an abusive relationship and I was poor. I could barely, I mean, like, I was literally, I was just thinking about this earlier today. I was like getting my cars repoed and just so much stress and trying to raise little children in that environment. Oh, my life was a nightmare. You know, it was a nightmare. And now, you know, this may not be much to you. You know, this is my room. You know, I've got my exercise equipment. I've got my pile of laundry over there. You know, I got my dog, you know, and my kids, and we live here by ourselves, and I have choices, you know, and I have freedom, you know. I've got freedom of how I want to live and how I want to spend my money, what I want to do on the weekends. I don't want to sit here and say I can do whatever I want, but, you know, life is so much, it's like night and day, you know, and I enjoy my days. I enjoy all of my days, which is amazing. And the places I've been, you know, I've really, I guess only I would know, you know, how I used to wake up and how I used to approach a day compared to now. I mean, like I said, night and day. And you know, the point where it changed was when I started reading positive thinking books and watching The Secret. I highly recommend, if you have not seen The Secret, please watch it, especially if you have a goal of some sort you're trying to get to. You know, it'll help you learn that you can't sit there and say, you know, bad things and have bad feelings and get anything good out of it. If you want something, whether it's a new car or a new body or whatever, you have to imagine that it's real. You have to act like it's real. You have to, like, fake it till you make it, pretend that it's real. And a lot of that, you know, is, I think, like, I don't know, astrophysical or whatever you might say. But a lot of it is very, very, like, real. And I always relate this to you know, if you win the lottery and you can't believe it, you're going to say, I can't believe it. I cannot believe this. Like, if you have no idea, you'll be the one, you're sitting there saying you can't believe it, you're going to be the one who's going to blow that money. You know, you're going to be like, I can't believe it. And it won't be real for you. All of a sudden, you'll be like, I don't have that money. And that's what happens to a lot of people who win the lottery. They don't get it anymore. And even the people on The Biggest Loser, you know, they go on there, they lose a lot of weight, and then what happens? A lot of them gain it back. Because, first of all, who knows how they were doing to lose the weight? They were doing anything. I mean, with all that money at stake, they were doing anything to lose the weight, more weight than somebody else. So, obviously not the healthiest way or example, but you have to, if you're going to lose all that weight and you're going to keep it off, then you have to be in the mindset of somebody, like, if you had a magic, you know, wand and you could say, make me thin, bam, you'd be thin, but you'd still have to upkeep it. And if you went back to the same habits, you would still get fat again. So, so fake it till you make it is real, you know, because you have to be able, if God grants your wish, you know, tonight, how are you going to react to it? And I think a lot of times, you know, God saves us or whatever, because he's like, no, you can't have that yet. You're not ready for it, you know, but sometimes, you know, whatever, I'm getting a little out there again, but you have to be able to deal with it when you get it. So, you know, pretending that you have it is great. It's a much better idea than sitting there saying, I hate myself. And, you know, you want to have a mantra. You want to have something that you're replacing all these negative thoughts instead of, all that time you used to spend thinking, I hate my body, I hate my body, I hate my body. You can now, replace with a mantra, an affirmation that you can, say to yourself as much as you want. And it's good, to a lot of times have one main one and then have maybe some backup ones or some different. Sometimes we change and sometimes we feel more like superficial and sometimes we feel more deep. And, it's a good idea to have, an accurate depiction of your whole life. But, when you're really focusing on something, you want to just pick one and you want to have it in the present tense. So like if you were going to try to get this great body, don't say I'm going to be fit, I'm going to be skinny, I'm going to be, blah, 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 because, basically what you're doing is putting that out there. Basically what you put out to the universe is what, your wish is my command. Like that's what happens. You don't think that it's true, but if you feel it with enough energy, then we actually help create our own reality. And science actually backs this up nowadays, which is really awesome. So it has to be in the present tense. You have to say, I have a banging body. I have an awesome body. Like whatever you want to say, make it into a song. Act like you're interviewing yourself, record yourself, listen to it as you're going to bed, write it down 100 times. I don't care, but get that thought in your head on a daily basis, multiple times throughout the day. And here's the key. You have to feel good while you're saying it. You have to really feel it. It's one thing to sit there and say, oh, I want to be size 0. I want to be size 0. I want to feel how good my butt feels in this dress, or whatever that I'm, whatever your example is. So when you're acting like you already have it, you're not stressing, you're not putting that negative. When you put that negative energy out there, and that worry, that stress, and that depression and anxiety, what you're doing is putting that out there. That's your frequency that you're putting out to the world, and that is what's going to return to you. Because like I said, the universe can only give you what you're able to receive, and you can only receive what is on the frequency that you're on. So your life, you have a choice, and it may not be instant. It's going to be as instantaneous as your mind will allow it to be. But as soon as you really start changing the way that you think, your life is going to change. And we've all had those bad days where we wake up and something goes wrong, and then you're having, oh, this is a shit day, and then the rest of the day goes downhill from there because it's not a curse or something, but you've got that in your mind, and that is what comes true. So be really careful about what you say, what you think, how you talk, and especially for those of us with children, you want to watch how you talk about yourself and obviously watch what you say, but you're not going to, when you're stressing and worrying and all that stuff, like you're going to be attracting more worry and more stress. And when you're on a vibration of peace and love and fruit and, everything else, like you're going to attract more goodness, more abundance to you in your life. It's just look around, look at some of these videos of these amazing people. Like Cherimoy Love is one of my favorite people to watch on YouTube. But like I just love her radiant smile, and she's so happy all the time and has such a beautiful life. And I think people here in the Midwest, like we just think like, oh, you can't do that here, like you can't be like that. There's, this is like some tropical lifestyle. Bring the tropical lifestyle to us. Like live it, love it. You are who you are, and you actually chose to be who you are, and you did it for a reason. You may not remember it, but empower yourself, research, read, realize that this is such a big world out there, such a big world, and it doesn't matter if you have the exact size hips. I mean, you look at a lot of superstars. People love them. They're loved all over the world. They're making millions of dollars, whatever, have anything they want. They're not necessarily the thickest thin ones out there, like, but anyways, I guess I better wrap this up. I just feel like, so many people need to know that you can eat and live and be happy and have fun, and you don't need to starve. Like, I've honestly, even when I was like, tiny, I was like 20 pounds lighter than I am right now. Um, Give or take a little bit, just a few months ago, like 6 months ago, that was my weight. And even then I wasn't really calorie restricting, that much. I still had very regular meals. I always eat about 8 or 9, always eat at 11, usually snack again or something. And then I love food. So, and again, I could be standing here in this very same dress and I would be 100, or if I was 98 pounds, I could be 20 pounds less. I could be 95 pounds standing here right next to me, in the same dress. And yeah, like, you could see more of my bones. Like, you could, maybe, certain positions would be more flattering or whatever. But when it comes down to it, half the time we're out here with, people who are drinking and there's beer goggles and it's dark and you're like, what is the actual difference? Like, and honestly, when you're hungry, you're going to have dark circles. When you're starving, you're going to be unhealthy. You're going to be, you're going to have a lot of things. You're going to have hair falling out. You have just acne problems, like all sorts of stuff. And you're going to be in a bad mood. You're going to maybe have worse emotional problems that could lead to, real mental problems. Like, your health is your life, so don't sacrifice it for anything or anyone or any size, because honestly, like, it's not about, and I'm talking to myself here, because honestly, I've been in this cycle for a really long time too. Like I say, I didn't calorie restrict too much, but I gradually came out of that, it's just not going to be that much of a difference, if you're happy and, you have color to your face, you're going to be much more attractive, and you're carved up, so you're like on the ball and witty and just having the time of your life. You know what I mean? Like, that person is going to be so much more attractive than, even if they have a better body. It's all about owning it. And a lot of it is just about finding the right, things and pieces that really, help you to feel confident, like show off the booty a little bit, hide the, problem areas, and own it, because everybody has flaws. And really, the people who take themselves the most serious are just the people that miss out, because, like I said, everybody has flaws. Everybody has flaws, and we all grow up and we worry about them, and that's what's so hard about adolescence. So, hopefully somebody hears, my message here. Hopefully we can do some good together. So, like, share, subscribe, comment, everything. You know how it goes. I hope you guys have a great Saturday night and rest of the weekend. And don't forget to eat your fruit, baby.